Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm Ángel Pozo, an industrial organizational engineer at Ubora Solar. I work in the sales engineering department and I'm here to explain a bit today about a topic not the most known. When we talk about photovoltaics, we usually focus on the panels, their features, and often we forget the heart of the installation, the inverter. What I want to tell you a little today is, in this discussion, the differences among inverters, between one type of inverter and what a microinverter is, and in what we should look when deciding which type of inverter to install and how important this decision is. We like to compare the inverter to something to illustrate that the inverter is like the heart of the installation in practical terms for our projects. Why? Because, as you all know, with solar PV tech, what we generate is energy in direct current, and that energy can't be installed directly at home. We must transform that energy into alternating current. In alternating current, that process of transforming energy and that capacity to convert energy is provided to us by our inverter. And from there lies the vital importance of choosing it correctly. Because depending on the efficiency of that transformation, we will truly maximize the performance and the electrical energy production capacity that our photovoltaic panel provides. First of all, that is, to know that the inverter is the device, or more precisely the system, that will be responsible for transforming the direct current we produce with our panels into the alternating current that we will feed into our home's electrical supply. Before delving into the features or how inverters differ from one another, I would like to highlight what a central inverter is and a microinverter, which would be the small device we have here indeed, the central inverter. What it does is collect all of the direct current energy produced by our solar panels that are interconnected in what we call a string. They come to the central inverter and are responsible for transforming the energy from all the panels. So that DC into AC, what difference does the microinverter make? Because the microinverter is directly connected to every single panel. This is exactly what makes the panel's electrical output individually customizable. So if a panel is affected by that production, whether by dirt on the panel, a poor connection, or damage to it, energy emanating from that panel doesn't affect the individually dedicated set of the same panels. Why? Because we don't route all that DC energy through a string to a central inverter. Instead, the DC current from the panel isn't converted to AC by the microinverter, and we carry it separately to the home installation or supply. The difference is that they have, aside from that customization of the panels that can increase their production, the startup voltage requirement is much lower, really indeed. Now we will discuss the startup voltages that the inverters require, but if we can note that when the startup voltage is much lower, the excitation of the panel is also much lower, which makes the redundancy obvious. And with less light, we begin to produce energy that truly isn't useful. That somewhat low electrical voltage the panels carry also contributes to an extra layer of safety for our installation. The electric risk we face is lower than with the voltages we'll work with, and we'll see the central inverters running. This is a short, concise summary of the main difference, and then we can cover in our next video key differences between a microinverter and a central inverter. Well, since we've explained a bit the difference between a microinverter and an inverter, let's really focus on what an inverter is, how it works, and the features we should look at today when deciding which one is right or best to install in our system properly. First of all, as we have mentioned, the inverter collects all the strings that carry energy in direct current, and it is responsible for converting that direct current into alternating current, as we have noted. But since we know what kinds of inverters there are, look here, this is where we can distinguish the basics. And the very first thing we need to know when setting up an installation is whether our installation is single phase, or in this kind of setup, for example with Fronius, we would be dealing with the Primo model, or in a three-phase configuration, the Simo model. This is quite important because it concerns the installation itself. If our home's electrical installation is three-phase, we cannot install a single-phase unit because we would simply be installing or integrating the installation into only one of the phases and would unbalance the house's phases. And in your case, if we had a three-phase electrical installation, we could install a single-phase configuration, but we would be talking about the same thing. We would be installing only on one of the phases, so the installation would not be balanced. So the first thing we need to know is, depending on the electrical installation we have at home, whether we use a three-phase inverter or a single-phase one. From this point forward, it is important that our inverters also provide us with software or a monitoring application. The inverter is the system that provides us with the data or monitoring of the electrical production being carried out in the photovoltaic installation. In other words, from this inverter, it reports to us or gives us the ability to report the data to see whether our panels are producing at the capacity they should, to detect a problem, and, above all, to see whether we need to correct any installation issue such as orientation, any wiring problems, and so on, and other related concerns. Also, an important part to consider among the inverters that we must carefully pay attention to is the management of the MPPTs, since those MPPTs are the points of maximum power. As we know, the solar panels generate solar energy as the radiation increases, right? Well, the inverter must have a reliable integrated system that enables us to effectively manage the voltages that are obtained in real operating conditions. To reach that point of maximum power, which means we will have substantially more power in our installation and be able to consistently maintain it over time throughout the entire day, for as long as possible. Well, having discussed the difference and the importance of it, to know whether we need to connect a three-phase inverter or a single-phase inverter. What's interesting before the other points is how the inverters work to start up indeed. They are systems that must be connected to the electrical grid. You know, this system, to begin converting energy, needs some minimum input voltages indeed, truly. Those voltages aren't provided by the panels, which produce that energy, right? It is required that the panels produce a certain input voltage so that these systems can start up, since we already know they need that voltage to start. What is particularly interesting within our own team is that we understand the MPPT management that it possesses. What exactly is MPPT management? First of all, we have to define the MPPT input. The input is where the voltage from our panels comes from, or where it is connected. Imagine that our inverter only had one input and we had two orientations, one east and the other west, in the morning. The panels that are on the east will have a higher voltage than those on the west. Then, if we connect it to a single MPPT input, what we do is use that voltage, the MPPT control, to manage it to give us the maximum power point. What happens when you have two voltages that are very different? Because the panels are producing voltages that are very different. The point of maximum power that we are going to generate will be lower. Therefore, it is very important that our inverter have at least the different MPPT inputs required, depending on the orientations, so that each orientation has a different input. And thus the voltage that each orientation will generate, with the MPPT management always guiding us, yields the maximum power point to enable converting that energy, and so that the efficiency or the energy production capacity of our system increases. Another important aspect is knowing how to differentiate the right inverter type we will choose. The first thing to be clear about is that not every inverter is suitable for the same kinds of installations. There is a part to differentiate: residential inverter type, industrial inverter type, or inverter type, for example, for solar orchards. What features should we check? Industrial inverters typically have a different appearance. They vary in size too, and their MPPT input capacity and the voltages at which the inverter operates are different as well for residential units. Other important aspects include that they are typically hybrid inverters. That means they can produce DC and convert it to AC, but we can't adapt that solar storage or a generator to it. On the other hand, we have the all-in-one units, which are equipment or systems not represented here. But for example, I can talk about SunPower Reserve, which is now built directly into the same system, the inverter, along with storage that is what is known as a battery, but a physical battery in the same system. And then, on the other hand, we would have hybrid inverters. Here we have a Gen 24 Plus that would be a hybrid inverter. What does this inverter let us do? This inverter lets us do it, adapt it to any compatible storage system. Not all brands are compatible. Depending on the brand of the inverters, there are some systems that are fully compatible with them and others that are not. But if we can adapt a self-contained storage system, and moreover, that storage system can usually be enlarged as much as we need it. Therefore, when choosing which inverter to install, whether a traditional inverter, a hybrid inverter, or an all-in-one unit, we must first be clear about the functionality that our photovoltaic installation will have and the site where we will fit or adapt it. Now we're going to answer the question everyone is asking. That is, how do we know what to look at when selecting our inverter? We already know its functionality and key characteristics. We must consider its use and what our PV installation will require, whether we should choose between a hybrid inverter, a non-hybrid inverter, or an all-in-one unit. If we look at a ranking, Fronius Gen 24 Plus is the one available for consideration here. I would be at the very top of the ranking, and how is that ranking evaluated? Well, I'm going to discuss the various aspects that are important. First, performance. As we know, inverters are electrical equipment that by their very nature operate at high temperatures since there is an electrical system and they carry the energy, But what we must keep in mind is that the same inverters themselves behave in a way that as we increase the power and as we raise the temperature as well, their performance declines. Therefore, we need equipment, in practical terms, solutions or systems that can either boost performance or at least maintain it at a high level even when temperatures rise. How can we achieve that? Well, Fronius, the Gen 24 Plus here has a built-in ventilation system. If we could move a little closer, we would see it better. The fan. With that, we lower the operating temperature and improve performance. As you can see here, we have a Fronius 𝐲𝐴𝐚𝐭, another model with a different ventilation system, but it isn't the same as the one on the Gen 24 Plus. Another important part is that our inverter can be hybrid or not, or that at certain times it can be transformed into a hybrid. For example, we have the 𝐲𝐴𝐚𝐭, the Primo Gen 24 that is sold without the ability to be hybrid. But we have the Plus range, and you can always, at any time, transform the Gen 24 into Gen 24 Plus by talking to Fronius's technical service and by adjusting certain internal settings it has. But we could always have a hybrid inverter in case in the future we decide to install that battery or that storage that our house truly needs. Now, another important part we've already mentioned earlier. It is the MPPT management, the inverter's ability to manage the maximum power point as quickly as possible. In practice, indeed now. Another important part is safety. The technical support behind Fronius values it highly and also offers technical support in every country and in every area. For example, when we talk about Spain, that service makes it possible for us to open it and resolve any fault the system may have immediately. That is, it's important that our investor not only does not fail, but that if at any moment the response fails, it should be as fast as possible in the shortest time for our stakeholders. Thus, we will increase production and therefore profitability of our investment. Another part we must have clear is price. Fronius sits in mid to high end of the range. But, well, if we take into careful consideration what we're talking about, the performance, profitability, and of course the management of MPPTs, well, the amortization of these systems is higher than that of other systems we find on the market. In short, what we can learn today is that in order to choose the appropriate type of inverter or microinverter that we will install in our home, workshop, or community, the very first thing we must have clear is exactly how we are going to use it from that point onward. The most important thing is that you let Ubora advise you. We will study the case and carefully select the truly best system that fits well in terms of functionality, performance, and above all, quality and warranty for your business. With this, any questions you have about investors or micro investors, follow us, watch our videos, and you can get in touch now.